Viral transmission dynamics are important in virus surveillance, monitoring prevention and intervention strategies. We can also use them to infer aspects of the origin and historical and geographic spread of strains. We investigated the phylogenetics of genotype 1A and 3A sequences using next generation sequencing generated full coding length sequences from UK resident individuals. We examined the phylogeny of 419 genotype 1A sequences from the UK with epidemiological metadata using a maximum likelihood tree. And we concluded that geographical factors, particularly residential region, were the major factor in determining clustering, as highlighted here for London and for Scotland. We identified 11 genotype 1A lineages and investigated the transmission dynamics using Bayesian methods. The results for one of these lineages, A1, is shown here. Maximum clad credibility tree indicated a most recent common ancestor of 1933. Using a continuous time Markov chain, we identified the East Midlands sequence as the earliest, and this then spread to the West Midlands and to London. This and subsequent transmission events had Bayes factor statistical support. From our Markov jump analysis, we found that the most transmission events occurred within and between London and the West Midlands, which was later identified as Birmingham. We looked at Markov jump rewards, and these suggested that the sequence was most frequently found in London. Overall, the A1A1 lineage originated in the East Midlands in the 1930s and then spread to London and Birmingham, where it established transmission hubs. It was frequently transmitted between London and Birmingham, and later spread was from London to other regions, but without onward transmission. Finally, I'll move on to our genotype 3A findings. We parsed our genotype 3A phylogeny with metadata as for genotype 1A. In this case, ethnicity appeared to be the key factor in clustering. We added more sequences from individuals living in Pakistan and India, and found that sequences from Pakistani and Indian individuals who were resident in Great Britain clustered with sequences from people who were resident in Pakistan and India. Using Bayesian MC inference with the skyride tree prior, the genotype 3A most recent common ancestor was dated to 1545, which was much earlier than the MRCA of genotype 1A. The Pakistan Indian clades were the most basal. The Great British clades occurred later, with European lineages occurring within the British clades. An exponential growth period in population occurred around between 1600 and 1850. So overall, these findings suggest that genotype 3A spread from the Indian subcontinent to Great Britain during the colonial period of history. It then spread to other regions in Europe. So thank you for listening, and for more details, please view our poster.